Let's rewind a decade ago. What is a smartphone? A sleek rectangular body with an edge to edge touchscreen at the front, speakers, and a set of cameras at the back. It could make calls, connect to internet, and bring the world to your fingertips. Fast forward to today, and remarkably, this core design and functionality has remained virtually unchanged since 2017. It's 2022 now. There's no major new innovation happening. So, what next? In March 2022, Carl P., a co-founder of OnePlus, has parted away with the company after its merger with the parent company Oppo. And now he has introduced his new brand, Nothing, a brand he boldly claims to be the next big thing in the tech world. Carl envisions Nothing as the next Apple of the smartphone world. But are these claims justified? Is Nothing really a groundbreaking as it's made out to be? Having used the phone one for past 3 years, I think there's one thing that really stand out. And no, it's not the cliff light. Let's start with the cliff light. Ever since they first announced the phone one, they're all talking about the design. Everyone showing the back of the phone, the cliff light glowing left, right, and center, the transparent back. Mostly when the phone came out, people call it a gimmick. But it do look different from the generic other smartphones which were available in the market at that time. Now, since it's been 3 years since I've been using this phone, does it really add something to the overall experience? Well, yes, apart from being the looking different amongst the other, I do find it useful, especially for the notification. So, if you had used the phones from the past 16:9 display era, where we used to have a big chunky bezels at top and bottom, you might have noticed there were a couple of sensors and other buttons in the bezel area, which include the front firing speaker, touch capacitive navigation button, front flash, and a notification LED, which glows up based on the notification you have enabled for. Now, some phones even has a RGB light, like the Redmi Note series, which you can use to customize color notification for different apps. Like you can set green for WhatsApp, blue for Telegram, purple for Instagram, etc. Now, ever since we have moved to this bezel-less form factor, all the buttons and lights started to disappear. The only way to get notified is via the sound or a AOD screen. With the phone on Glyph Light, you can enable the top right LED strip to glow based on the apps you have enabled the notification for. Of course, it is not that configurable since it is only white in color, but still it helps. I have enabled this light for Slack, WhatsApp, and this call. So whenever I have any notification for any of these apps, the topmost light glows continuously as an alert. Apart from this, I don't find it quite useful for any other task. Nothing told that they will be having more third-party integration with Glyph, but it's been 3 years since they haven't announced the phone one, and except for Zomato, I don't think there's any other apps which have integrated Glyph into their service. The build quality of this phone is genuinely quite impressive. Believe it or not, I have dropped this phone 3 times from a moving motorcycle just because I forgotten to tighten up the mobile holder after refueling, thanks to my goldfish memory. So, despite these falls, the phone is still quite intact. There's just one crack at the bottom of the front and the back panel. But considering that on two of those occasions, the bike was going over 60 kmph on highway, I would say the phone was quite durable. As for the looks, definitely looks unique and different, and the white color I think is more attractive since we view the transparent back more clearly there than this black one. But yeah, the design kind of become repetitive, and in these 3 years we got three different nothing phones, and all of them kind of look the same. Frankly speaking, in my opinion, the phone one still feels more premium than the new launches, including the phone 2. Now, enough of the looks. Here are the general specs of the Nothing Phone 1, and it was on par with other smartphones in this price range during launch. There wasn't anything extraordinary in terms of specs. It got a mid range Snapdragon processor, 120Hz AMOLED display, Although it do has a wireless charging support, which is quite a rarity at this price point, but it's just 15 watt. Overall, in day-to-day use, the phone does feel snappy and you can play some light games too. But sometimes it does feel sluggish, like in camera app or editing photos in Lightroom. But yeah, it's holding up pretty well. As for the battery, it's okay. I do have to charge it twice a day. So if you're a light user, then it can last the whole day. But you can expect around 4 to 5 hours of screen on time. So yeah, and it has a 33 watt fast charging, so you can fill up the battery in around 1 hour, 1 hour 15 minutes. Also, although the company is providing regular software updates, but sometimes it do messes up the battery calibration. So I do need to reset the phone sometimes to get the better battery performance. On average, I'm generally getting screen on time of around 4 to 5 hours on a single charge, which is pretty reasonable for the 4500 mAh size battery. But yeah, a bigger battery would have been better. Now, the camera again, it's pretty average at launch, but with timely updates, it does get better and was probably one of the best camera phone at the launch. Do note this is not the perfect and it lacks lots of features in the camera app which some other competitor companies are providing. But yeah, it's pretty decent. Now comes to the OS. So nothing with its nothing OS. It feels like we have a reborn of Oxygen OS, especially with the new 3.0 update. Now, as we're talking about the software, the updates were quite regular. Although company has started giving preference to its newer launches, but still, it do manages to get the newer Android update quicker than the competition. Recently, Phone 1 started getting the Nothing OS 3.0 beta update based on the Android 15, while the Phone 2 and the Phone 2a have already started getting the stable version. Now, over the past 3 years, Nothing OS has evolved a lot. In early days, it felt like a bare bone ASP with few tweaks of glyph heights and the end dot fonts. Uh, but since we are at version 3.0, it got various new Nothing features and UI changes. Let's take a quick look at some of my favorite features from the Nothing OS 3.0. Firstly, it got a new sans serif fonts, which makes UI look fresh and new. We also got an option to switch back to the older end dot fonts if you want to. Then it got some cool new widgets. We can add it to the lock screen too. My favorite ones is the new calendar widget and the step counter one. The quick setting also got a major overhaul. We now get neatly designed toggles with no text at the bottom, and we have this new 3 row silent ringer button, which does make it more intuitive to use. Then we have got the new app drawer like the Apple's app library, which I found it more usable than the regular ASP app drawer. Apart from this, there were some more features, but these are my top ones. As for the pricing, Nothing generally prices their phones relatively a bit pricier than the similar spec competitors. But since it is providing a better software experience, I don't mind it a bit costlier. Now, to conclude, the biggest plus which I found in the brand Nothing is its software. Of course, they have their unique design thing going on, but I think on long run, software is what going to make an impact. If they continue delivering the regular quality updates like they are doing it right now, they are on right track. You know what's so special about OnePlus back in the days? The software. It didn't have the best cameras or the best battery life, but the software, nobody else came close. But with the merger of Color OS, it's just not the same anymore. Now, with Nothing, I'm starting to feel the same old school OnePlus 5 again. I don't know if it is going to be the next Apple, but I do feel it is the new OnePlus of the smartphone world.